It is a story that captivated the nation years ago. A little boy who says he went to heaven. Now his father, who wrote the original bestseller about the experience, is back with a new book. But first, the story of Colton Burpo and his visit in heaven.
It sounded like a story dreamed up by a little boy, but to understand what Colton Burpo said, you have to hear what he did. It all started on a trip to Colorado. Colton complained of a stomach ache, a trip to the doctor, diagnosis, the flu. Back home to Nebraska, another doctor, still no improvement. Colton went downhill fast. The then 3-year-old had a ruptured appendix. While in surgery, his parents, Todd and Sonia, prayed in separate rooms. They thought they had lost him. Miraculously, after a difficult recovery, Colton survived, but his story is far from over.
He says, the angels, they sang to me while I was there. I remember looking in the mirror, and he's just dead serious.
While in heaven, Colton says he saw many things and met many people, including Pop, his great-grandfather who died 30 years before Colton was born. But Colton says he didn't look like the photo in his house. A picture sent months later by his grandmother was more like the man he met, a young man without glasses. And perhaps the most shocking part of Colton's story.
Stands right in front of his mom and is like, Mom, I have 2 sisters.
But he only has one sister.
You had a baby die in your tummy, didn't you, Mom?
His parents never told him about the miscarriage.
She looked familiar, and then she started giving me hugs and telling me that she was glad to have someone from her family up there.
Well, Colton's story turned into the bestseller, Heaven is for Real, and of course the feature film as well. And now Todd Burpo has written a new book, God is for Real, and he's here to share more of that with us this morning. Todd,
good morning,
good to
Natalie.
See you again.
It's awesome to
We've
be here.
kept in touch over the years.
Sure.
And we want to show the 2 books. They look similar.
They do.
But the content very different.
They
This
are.
the original book, of course. You never expected it to take off, if we can just go back for a second, the way that it did you?
No, we knew that God had given us incredible peace, and he told us, you know, it wasn't right to keep that peace to ourselves. But we never had a clue so many people we'd be able to share that peace with others, what my son saw and experienced, so we're very grateful for it.
Well, the new book, God is for Real. Why this book? What led to this?
Well, I think 7 years, Heaven is for Real has been out, and over 7 years, people have asked us questions about God. You know, if the God your son saw is the God of heaven, what does that God want from me? What does he expect from me? And there's so many different opinions about God, and the questions just keep coming over and over again. And I guess in these last 7 years, God's like, people need to know the answer to those questions. And in this book, this is Fireman Todd speaking. When I go out to emergencies, crises that people are going through, sometimes as pastors, we make things muddier. We use terminology people don't understand. But in those emergencies, I found that God is more present and people are more ready to pray, maybe even at church, because church is sometimes too put together, too nice. God is not afraid of our problems and our dirt and our hurt, and that's what I want to share with people.
Does it take tragedy, though? I mean, that's essentially what happened to your family when
Well, I think
Colton was so
tragedy
sick.
is something that we all experience. I don't care what race you come from, how much money you have, we're all going to have hard spots. You know, Jesus said, in this world you'll have storms and you'll have trouble. And boy, everyone, I think we all say that is probably one of the most honest, most accurate scriptures in the Bible.
You seem to find the most comfort in being with people who are struggling.
Sure.
Is that another reason behind this book?
Well, I think at that point in time, all the masks come off and people are like, I need God. And if God's here, how do I access God? And I think a lot of people need to have that plain spoken answer that God wants to be with you and God wants to help you.
Well, I wish we had more time. It's always good to see you and
That's
your
awesome.
family who's here today as well. And congratulations on the new book.
Thank you very much,
We'll
Natalie.
look to see what comes next. All right, we'll be right back. It's available in bookstores, by the way. There's a copy of the new book, God is for Real. We'll be right back.